Alright, live Smoke Radio, we're here for the Uni Westminster radio show, the Brainlokk MC show. We have live on the phone Mr. Asher D. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, what's going on, brother? You cool?
Wicked. Good to have you. It's definitely legendary right now. Just to get into a few questions in depth about the career of Asher D, Ashley Waters, as some might know him by. In those early days of the garage scene and the collective you were part of, which was Soul Solid Crew, I just wanted to know, like, who were your two favorite MCs you rated at that time and why?
Well, that's a deep question. I've never thought about that really. At the time, what do you mean, like people that weren't in the Soul Solid Crew?
Yeah, basically people that, apart from yourselves, obviously, Soul Solid were massive, just some favorite MCs that you had around the time.
At the time, I mean, obviously, like, most people, you know how Soul Solid was back then. Most other MCs that were out then, we were lyrically warring with, really. But at the same time, I mean, some of your greatest kind of enemies, if you want to call them that, can be people that you admire the most. So I suppose, I mean, when it comes to kind of working a crowd and doing the club thing, I was a big fan of Heartless Crew, Mighty Mara Bushkin, really. They were up there really for me. But other than that, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of difficult for me. Maybe more, I mean, on the hip-hop side, Cash and Koff was doing this thing, I was a big fan of his. Other than that, I don't know, I can't really call it. If I had another, like, half an hour to think about it, I'd probably come up with some other names.
Thank you, man, that was really in-depth. You know, So Solid, it was a legendary time, like, you know, when you first came onto the scene and, you know, were dominating the UK music. I just wanted to know, like, the atmosphere and compared to, you know, the atmosphere then compared to now, and what were some of the, you know, different kind of things between then and now, you know, in the atmosphere, kind of, in the music industry.
The biggest thing really was that, and I don't know, like, how this changes people's view, but we didn't have the power of YouTube, Twitter, Facebook and all those things really then when we broke through. It was all through word of mouth, us hitting the clubs, hitting the road hard, and you know, I remember travelling around in G's Volkswagen Golf and they said out of the boot
crazy
record shops. That's how we made a name for ourselves, and going into Coliseum and stealing the mic from PSG and the older people, you get me?
Yeah,
so I think that's one of the big differences, because, you know, like, a lot of artists that are, you know, in obscure places around the world now can make a big name for themselves just through YouTube, really, if they get enough hits. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily make them good artists, but, you know, some of them are really talented and have gone on to do well. But at the same time, you know, I mean, a lot of things are different. Like, you know, back then it wasn't really something we got into thinking we could make like a financial success from it, really, to be honest. We just had a huge passion for music and bringing the sort of music we were doing through. Whereas these days, you know, I think a lot of the artists that come through now are a lot more media and
business savvy,
really.
Yeah. I hear you, and that's like a whole other talent in itself. What was like your favorite Soul Solid memory and like a funny moment that happened, you know, within the Soul Solid Crew? Something special for the Smoke Radio listeners that no one's ever heard.
I mean, probably like there was one time we did Radio 1. We did a live recording in the Maida Vale studios for Radio 1. A lot of artists do that these days. Yeah. And you know, like 35 of us, we went down there, and like this full crew was in the house. Wow. Took up half the building, and we were on lunch after rehearsal. We were sitting there watching TV, and it was on Sky 1, and you know, everyone's talking loads of noise, and it's nowhere me as like a 10-year-old or something in Indiana Jones, the young Indiana Jones, come on TV. And as you can imagine, I've got a lot of, basically I've got the shit split out of me, man. There's a lot of talking and a a lot of bullying went on after that, man.
Okay, I hear you. Done that. That was a great moment there from Asher D, you know, reminiscing. Also, you had the legendary, the fisherman hat at the time. I believe that was one of your trends. What inspired that?
Bro, do you know what? I don't know, you know. Since I went out around that age, around that time, I was just obsessed with hats.
Yeah.
I just had a lot of hats, and that was one of my favourite ones, man. The one with the brim going all the way around, the fisherman style hat. Even became like my logo for my CDs when I signed with Sony back then. But yeah, it was one of those things. I did it consciously. Yeah. I always used to wear a lot of hats. To be honest, the truth be known, I mean, me wearing hats came from the fact that even to this day I still do it. I don't go barbers a lot.
Yeah.
It's not an experience I enjoy, so I put it off to the last minute. So in between times, I wear a lot of hats, man.
Oh, you done it. That was a classic hat, though. You had like the whole streets trying to copy that trend at the time, you know.
That's good. I didn't even know that. You're the first person that's ever said that to me.
Oh, for real, man. Oh, man. I just wanted to get 3 tips for, you know, up-and-coming musicians.
3 tips, right. I mean, obviously, first and foremost is perseverance. I say this to everyone, like, you know, talent aside, you ain't in it unless you're in it. Do you know what I mean? You can't win it unless you're in it. So, you know, the thing that separates most of these artists, whether you deem them as good or bad, the thing that separates them from yourself, who's not there probably, is work ethic and dedication to it. Do you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people have become successful off the back of determination and never giving up.
Yeah.
2, I'd say hone and master your craft. You know, I have times where I'm filming for long periods of time that I don't write. I don't do nothing to do with music, and you know, I go back into the studio and I'm rusty. You know, I go back on radio and I'm rusty and stuff. And that everyone is susceptible to having that happen to them. So you have to always master your craft, always practice, and you're never the best. You know what I mean? I hate MCs when they say that they're the best. But it makes me not want to listen to their music when I hear someone say that. Because you know, the best person, they never really talk about it.
Yeah, they just do it. They just get on with it.
Yeah. They just do it. And third, you know, kind of similar to the second, but not, make good music. You know, if you're in this to win it, don't surround yourself with substandard people. You know, you get the best producer you can afford, you get the best management, you get the best people around you, the best A&Rs, the best people that can help your situation move forward, and never collaborate with anyone that is worse than you.
Yeah, for real. for real. You're also like a well-known actor. You know, I just would like maybe 1 or 2 tips for like actors coming up, you know, in the scene. Because I know a few actors that kind of find it hard to get into acting, don't know where to start, don't know just where to go and get started with it. So just maybe a few, you know, insight on how they could, you know, get it moving, get the acting thing moving.
I mean, that one's difficult, you know. It's a lot of the same things that is similar to the music, I suppose, getting in, because obviously you need that determination, that persistence.
Yeah.
But acting is a cutthroat world, and right now in music, you know, in comparison, in music we've got a thing where black music or urban, some people want to call it music, is top of the charts right now, across the board. So there's a lot of black artists involved in music, and it's a common thing, you know. You look at it now, there's kind of, if not 50-50, there's more black people making music than there are sort of white people.
For real.
So, which is a good thing, like, but in the acting world, you know, there's only a handful of black actors out there.
Yeah.
And for black women, it's notoriously, it's historically harder for them to get in. So I can say the age-old things like get the stage, newspapers, go to open auditions and whatever, and that will help, you know. That's one of those things. But the main thing to do really is, if you've got that talent, you've got that gift, it's one of those things that producers and directors can see when they meet you. And that means you just got to get yourself out there and network. There's a lot of actors that I know that are on the up-and-coming thing that's still kind of extras and that. You know, make it their kind of their daily routine to holler at me, see what's going on, even though they know sometimes I'm going to be just saying no, nothing ain't happening or whatever. But just keeping themselves in the loop and making sure that they're at events and, you know, just there in it and being willing to talk and brave enough to just say who they are.
Yeah, for real, for real. Sometimes, you know, doing that goes very far because you'll be at an event and if you talk, you know, you're going to get somewhere. They're not saying anything, so definitely.